Bitcoin just closed June down 21%. The scan flagged its first close below the 200-week moving average. ETF outflows hit $6.5 billion in 2 months. We finish on today's top-ranked stock and ETF from SignalFinder Pro's Best of Best.
Indexes closed higher, QQQ and the Nasdaq leading.
But the SPX weekly signal turned bearish 4 weeks ago, and it's still there. The NDX made a new high on June 3rd, while major components failed to confirm. That's a divergence the system clocked. SPX has a gap fill overhead at 74.75. And the VIX is part of the readout as those mixed weekly signals play out. The macro readout is bearish. The 30-year Treasury yield hit 5.16%, the highest level since the run-up to the global financial crisis. TLT broke below its $84 support as yields spiked. The 10-year is at 4.45%, pressing toward that 4.42% key level. U.S. net interest expense is already 20% of total tax revenues, the highest since the 1990s, and DXY is keeping the pressure on bond ETFs.
Energy was the week's top-performing sector, but the medium-term picture here is contested. Crude oil spiked above $109 a barrel on Iran tensions before pulling back to $106 after the strike threat eased. Oil's up roughly 80% year-to-date, and USO posted a fresh year-to-date high on the session. With Iran risk premiums fading and a supply surplus warning in the data, XLE and XOP don't have a clean directional read right now. Gold's dealing with a death cross on the chart, and persistent ETF outflows are keeping GLD and SLV under pressure. That's the bearish side of metals. But copper's structural supply deficit and ongoing central bank buying are keeping long-term bulls in the picture, so the system's got this one flagged mixed. Two different stories running inside the same sector. EFA and EEM are sitting on point-and-figure buy signals, riding a semiconductor-led quarter-end rally. But the system's also clocked the yen at 162 to the dollar, Japan's currency still under serious pressure. And South Korea saw $17.3 billion in outflows. Here's the anomaly the back-end surfaced. A 2x leveraged SK Hynix ETF is now the largest ETF on Hong Kong markets. That's the kind of concentrated positioning that tends to matter when the tide turns. The crypto read is bearish. Bitcoin closed June down 21% and posted its first weekly close below the 200-week moving average. That level's now flipped to resistance. The 300-week moving average, near 54,600, is the next major support the system's watching. IBIT is down 54% from its peak, with $6.5 billion in spot ETF outflows over the last 2 months. That's the worst 2-month stretch since those ETFs launched in January 2024. And flow's been negative for 8 straight weeks. SignalFinder Pro's Best of Best ran the full scan and narrowed the universe down to 103 symbols on today's shortlist. Industrials at rank 1, tech at rank 2, both in leading territory. Real estate's at rank 3, but it's in the lagging column. The top ETF and top stock are up next. Sector rankings. XLI Industrials at number 1, up 1.35%. XLK Technology, second, up 2.76%. XLRE Real Estate, third, down 1.98%, sitting in the lagging column. Industrials and tech with the constructive read on the day. Real estate is the outlier. XBI is today's top-ranked ETF in the Best of Best. The SPDR S&P Biotech ETF, priced at $158.25, essentially flat on the session, down a fraction of a percent. Biotech's a volatile space, and XBI landing at the top of the system's output is the key readout here. The infographic below has the full structural picture. CRWD, CrowdStrike, is the system's top-ranked stock right now, priced at $763.14, up 2.72% on the session. Cybersecurity at the top of the Best of Best output today, with the strongest daily move among the top names. Pull up the infographic for the full structure. Quick recap. Indexes mixed. Nasdaq higher, but weekly signals bearish. 30-year yield at 5.16%, keeping macro in a bearish posture. And Bitcoin down 21% for June, with the 200-week moving average now broken. Best of Best output. XBI leads the ETF shortlist. CRWD leads the stock shortlist. Verify both live in SignalFinder Pro. And remember, this is educational, not financial advice. Do your own homework.